Hello everyone and welcome back. Hey y'all. Hope you guys are doing wonderful. I just got out of the shower, so I'm very tranquil right now. It has been a few hours since Guild Wars 2, the Icebrood Saga, has been announced, which got me wondering, first off, what's the acronym we're using? Is it GW2 Icebrood Saga? Is it GW2 IBS? Because for some people, they got IBS from earlier today, but that's neither here nor there. So, like, I wonder what the acronym is. Before I jump into this trailer analysis, I wanted to offer even more opinions on the video I just uploaded. The video I just recently uploaded, I actually filmed way earlier this morning. I only got around to posting it just now because I had to go over to my college and do things. But I have let everything sit in my brain, in my being for quite a while. And I'm not as mad at it as I was. I'm partially excited. Like I went through the day and I went through spurts of remembering this trailer and remember that we're getting more living world. And it feels like it's going to come quicker, and it feels like it's going to be much more flexible, and there's something in there that is still keeping me excited. I can't explain it, be like, oh, this is why, but well, I can. It seems it's being a bit faster, and it seems that they aren't really I don't know how to put it. They're not being restrained by, like, quote unquote episodic content. I think it feels like it's going to be like we are just actively updating the story in a bit more of a fluid manner. I don't know. That is yet to be seen. If by like the third episode stuff happens, then it happens. But I gotta say, I'm kind of coming around to the Icebrood Saga. I think one of the biggest questions I have right now is it going to be a normal 6-episode season? How long is it going to be? I know everyone else's question is there going to be an expansion after this? But yeah, I just wanted to briefly say that I'm kind of coming around to it, and I'm kind of excited for the story in particular and in specifics. That is what is currently keeping me very interested. And I think what they showed is really cool in terms of the trailer. So, speaking of the trailer, and considering this is a trailer analysis, let us start from the beginning. One thing I will say is that we have some amazing voice acting in this trailer, done, I think, by a female. And who I think is narrating this is most likely Jormag. Is Jormag sentient? It seems like most of the Elder Dragons have a voice, like Mordramoth did, Kralkatorrik did. And I think it'd be really awesome if Jormag, even though like the gender and sex doesn't really matter of the dragon, for the Norn, I think it'd be very interesting if Jormag is in fact female. And I'll touch on that a little bit more once we get over to Jormag. But we first are introduced to this scene with a very natural environment. The Shiver Peaks, highlands, mountainous regions with great climate, water, rivers running, agriculture, greenery, beautiful. And we see this bird. And this bird goes through a few transformations, or one transformation later on in the trailer. But before we get to the later on in the trailer, we see just the bird in its natural state, very pure.
You do not fear death.
And then we get a voice line saying, "You do not fear death.
Something far worse.
You fear something far worse. You fear leaving the ones you swore to protect, outliving them." And that to me is like, if this is Jormag, the individual entity talking, I don't. They have multiple lines throughout this trailer, and it becomes a bit more clear in the end. But it's also like, do they know? Like, why they seem so intellectual and seem so poignant, and they know, it seems like they know exactly what the commander and the other races of Tyria are doing. It doesn't just seem like a beast of primal magical energy. It seems to be like this Jormag thing. I think I'm just gonna say Jormag for the purpose. It's not confirmed, but I think the individual speaking is Jormag. It seems that Jormag is like very smart and is getting into the minutia of what people are thinking and know the weaknesses. It's like, you've killed 3 of my other siblings. I know what you're doing now. But we have Aurene in the mix. So I wonder what that's going to happen. We have this beautiful shot of a char in ash, literally being just burned alive, being swept away by the wind and just crumbling. And then we see this Kodan. I love this particular image. At first I was like, is it a statue? Is it just like a little rock? It is a dead Kodan. And they're doing a burial service.
The warmth of the flame.
And then the voice says, you're going to miss the warmth of the flame, or the cold of the frost, the warmth of the flame. So it's about like staying in a live state. This here, I find very interesting.
It is this fear that is your enemy.
We have centaurs and humans. But I thought we were doing more about like the Norn and the Char. So I can't help but wonder, are we also going like above Divinity's Reach, north of Lake Doric to the I forgot something, is it the Highland Cascades, woodlands, the woodland areas, more with the centaurs? Are we dealing with them as well? From this trailer it seems like we might be, and I would be interested in it. I think the centaurs still are very cool enemies back all the way in like 2010, 2011 during like the showings of the game. I thought it was really cool. So I can't help but wonder. And then, yeah, we see them marching. Centaurs are superior in power. They are forcing them to keep going. And then we get to this shot of a burning boat which has been wrecked and is currently descending into the depths of the ocean. Why? This could either be located still north of the Shiver Peaks, much in the far north where it's like the lake regions, but this seems to be like out in the ocean. This seems to be like on a stormy oceanic area. So I'm like, are they just using a boat to cross more north? Where exactly are they heading? Where is this taking place? And why are they showing us imagery of a sinking ship?
All races of Tyria suffer.
All races of Tyria suffer. And then a Norn is sinking, which it could just be a representation of the Norn. Then we have the mountainous shots about these wandering Norn, and some of them just can't make it.
You need not fear me, champion.
But you need not fear me, champion. Oh, sadness. And then we get this blizzard storm.
Can set you free.
For I can set you free. And then we get these shots of Icebrood, Char. I'm definitely a Char because of the Legionnaire sword. And I'm guessing just other Norn and Sons of Svanir. My doggo is barking. Hold one moment. Screw it. I just brought my dog up here. So yeah, and then we have, I'm out of breath. going up and down and up and downstairs. So, we hear Jormag say, join me, and then shows the Icebrood. A Char with the Legionnaire sword, and I'm guessing Sons of Svanir, and other Icebrood. And then it's just this sense of like she's building an army. So, let us continue a little bit. Rest in peace.
Join me, and you shall have the strength to protect your people in the
Join me and you'll have the strength to protect your people.
Trials to come.
And the trials to come. Then we see Ritlock, Bram, and I'm guessing just like a Norn player character or another Norn representing most likely the player character. This art style, I still can't get over it. It's so good.
Against me.
It's so good.
You stand alone.
If you stand against me, then you stand alone. This is when we see the concept art for the face of Jormag. And this is why I believe it's Jormag. Because they're like, if you face me, or if you stand with me, if you stand against me, you're alone. Personal first person pronouns, a big clue that this is probably Jormag talking to us. And I wanted just to touch on the fact that Jormag at least sounds female. And I think it could be interesting if they go into the fact that Jormag is female and is not quote unquote male because all the other dragons have been male. For the sole purpose, maybe not the sole purpose, but I think it'd just be interesting to have, I don't know, Jormag as a woman enemy. I think it could be interesting. I brought you up here not to bark. Look, and then we have the Icebrood Saga. That was great. Prologue, Bound by Blood, is September 17th, 2019. Cool. So, I wanted to touch a little bit on Jormag's possibility of being female and the connection to the Sons of Svanir. Sons of Svanir are incredibly resistant to females in their ranks and just around them generally. They are pretty much excommunicated, rejected, and I think that'd be very interesting if this group of Norn men, Sons of Svanir, are being led by a woman who is probably the one telling the other female Norn, like, oh, maybe they can be corrupted. That's another thing. I don't think we've seen a female corrupted Icebrood. So I don't know. I think that it was just the minutia of the gender balance. You know, the Sons of Svanir reject women, however they're being led by one. And I just thought that could be interesting in terms of like narrative and like, you know, deeper analysis. I want to go back to this burning boat because this burning boat, it seems to be out on the ocean and it's a boat. So I'm like, new masteries, sailing, that ended up not being a thing, but I was like, it looks to be out on the ocean and or on the larger lake north of the Shiver Peaks or in that body of water near the Isle of Janthier. This could be anywhere, but why include an aquatic scene in a saga, quote unquote saga, that is directed towards the Char, who live on like a desertous, arid plain, focus on the Char, and the Norn, who live in the Shiver Peaks. And I'm guessing, you know, the ice melted, you know, and the waters had formed. So maybe that this is where it is. Maybe it's completely different. The lighting doesn't really convince me that this is taking place north. The lighting feels very Maguma-y, like dark greens, aquatic colors. And also it shows underneath the surface.
The prison in which all races of Tyria suffer.
A prison in which all races of Tyria suffer. I'm also getting this like Mordramothi agenda as well. I feel like most of the Elder Dragons that we've faced recently have been about like the unity, the corruption of all, to have like a default stagnant race, stagnant hive mind to reduce the war. And it's a very connotatively evil thought, but its objective is to have peace in the form of everyone is the same, everyone acts the same, everyone thinks the same, therefore there cannot be any conflict or evil. So that's what I had thought about Mordramoth in terms of his turning of the other Sylvari, be like, be one with Mortimer, and it's like, what have you done? Become part of me and endure. And now we're getting this, and it's kind of like, join me and you'll be safe. Don't join me and we'll like take you by force. This color palette, this just environmental art, definitely screaming Northern Shiver Peaks. The Oceanic one didn't. And I don't know if that's like a lodge in the background, if we're going to see. I am genuinely excited about Living World. I will clarify. I am genuinely excited about the Living World and the story. The features that they showed off at the thing, I wasn't super crazy about. I appreciated some of them. But this is what I lived for. This is what I was like, yes, take my money, expansion. After seeing this and seeing the title reveal of the Icebrood Saga, I wasn't expecting them to change that Living World subtext title, into officially named the Icebrood Saga. So I was like, oh, is this a surprise expansion? And then we have the bird who got corrupted. The Icebrood Saga. I can't, why did they name it the Icebrood Saga? Well, definitely because it's like Icebroody. But like, they could have just left it Living World Season 5. And then part of me also was like, would this have been better with an expansion? This trailer invoked expansion hype for me. And then everything else after that just was kind of like, oh, base game, blog posty stuff. So that is why I had such contentions with the trailer. Because it's just, the trailer came out guns blazing, 10, 10, 10s across the board. And then it followed up with like 5s and 6s and just the normal. But the art, the char, I'm so excited to just delve deeper into the Kodan. This shot is something I also want to talk about. I love the Kodan. I wish we could play as them. Also said that we didn't hear of any like new playable races. You know how awesome it would be to have like the Kodan as playable races now? This would have been perfect. Like, you have to have a level 80 character, and you can create a level 80 Kodan that starts with a story. You know how awesome that would be? Of course you could go back and play it. You don't even need a voice actor. Screw the voice actor. Just put in the text. Just put in the text. Like, I am fine with that. I guess it is difficult having a game that is so heavily focused on narrative and well executed narrative. I give them major credit. It's very well executed narrative. Well, in terms of presentation with like the voice acting and all that stuff, the details of how the actual narrative goes, it's subjective. I enjoy it. At times I'm like, oh, that looks a little sketchy. Could have done better. Or I just in generally am like, I'm not a fan of that. But other times I'm like, yes, this is awesome. I love it. I'm very entertained. I am obsessed with the Kodan. And at first I was really confused by this image. I was like, is this just like a little rock, like a child's toy that's just floating in water? And then I realized it's a massive Kodan on a block of ice, who's dead, on top of a bunch of timber and dry material. And it's a, what is it? It's not a sky burial. Is it a Viking water burial where like you immolate them when they go off to sea, and that's how they pass? That's what exactly this is. And there are spears in the background. The Kodan are wielding spears. No new weapons, ain't it? No new weapons. So sad. But I genuinely love this shot too. I'm very intrigued by the Kodan. This area feels like the larger lake areas in the Northern Shiver Peaks. The ocean one with a boat did not. It really didn't. And these two images, these two scenes are the ones that are the least cohesive, but yet are the most interesting. The centaur human one and this one. Is it just for the sake of the script where Jormag is talking about it affects multiple races and no one's safe? Or my mind instantly goes to, okay, so this has to do with the story. That's all I'm saying. So that is my trailer analysis for this Guild Wars 2, the Icebrood Saga trailer. The animation's so good. The art style. I wouldn't mind playing a game with these graphics, honestly. They're so cool. Oh, the Icebrood Char. They're all one. I'm excited to see new enemy types too. Ritlock, this is expansion quality. Why wasn't this an expansion? Well, I know why this was an expansion. Like, you know, we had layoffs earlier in the year, and they definitely pulled through with this presentation, the trailer. This was quality, but I can't help but feel like, oh, what if this was like an actual expansion? What if they just said Living World Season 5, but it actually pulled up and pulled through on the quality of an expansion? We've yet to see in terms of story and narrative, but I'm more so talking about features and like new routes of play style and engagement. So
You'll have the strength to protect your
Ritlock says, flame on.
to come.
Thank you everyone for watching. Like the video if you liked it. Comment below your thoughts on the trailer. And I will see you guys in the next video where I talk about some other things I mentioned at the reveal. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye everyone. Mwah.